Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at something really compelling and honestly globally significant. India's dynamic and, well, rapidly expanding economy.
Yeah, definitely a hot topic.
So our mission here is to unpack the latest reports, the insights we've gathered, to figure out why it's growing so fast, focusing on, what's going right.
Exactly. And look, no economy is perfect, right? There are always challenges.
Sure.
But the sources we're looking at, they paint a pretty clear picture of some remarkable strengths in India right now.
Okay.
So we'll dig into those key takeaways, some surprising facts maybe, and insights that kind of cut through the noise you usually hear, give you a clearer view.
And the sources, just so you know, are quite varied. We've got economic reports, ministerial statements, business analyses.
Right. Good mix. IMF, Financial Times.
Yeah, perspectives from the business world, too. Think of this as your kind of shortcut to getting informed on this economic powerhouse.
Okay, so let's start with the broad strokes.
The big picture, yeah. The first thing that just keeps popping up in these sources is how quickly India is climbing that global economic ladder.
It's hard to miss.
It's consistently called the fastest growing major economy right now.
That's the headline you see everywhere.
And, consider this. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund,
Right.
they've actually raised India's growth forecast for 2025, bumped it up to 6.4%.
Okay, 6.4, that's strong.
Yeah, and they're attributing that mainly to solid economic fundamentals and, importantly, really strong consumer demand.
That internal demand piece again.
Exactly. And here's a projection that really stands out. Union Minister Piyush Goyal, this was reported in the Economic Times, he stated India's firmly on track to become the world's third largest economy by GDP.
Third largest.
Yeah.
That's a monumental shift, as you said.
It really is.
And what's fascinating here, I think, isn't just the raw speed, it's the resilience underneath it all.
Right.
This isn't just some temporary blip caused by outside factors.
Yeah.
It points to deeper, more structural changes happening.
Okay, so foundational shifts.
Yeah. Unlike maybe some other emerging economies that rely heavily on, say, external debt or just one or two industries, India's surge seems much more broad-based, domestic-led. And that offers a really interesting model, maybe, for how a country builds economic power from within, even when the global picture is uncertain.
So it's changing the global economic map in a way.
It really is redefining things.
Yeah. So with that kind of ascent, you have to ask what's really, really driving it.
The engines.
Yeah, the engines.
Yeah.
And the sources keep pointing inwards.
Yeah.
Powerful internal drivers.
Like domestic consumption.
Exactly. Unlike a lot of economies that are super reliant on exports, India's growth seems largely powered from within, people buying things domestically.
Which has benefits, right?
Huge benefits. A Times of India report highlighted this point. It gives them real insulation from, global trade shocks.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Less vulnerable if international markets take a hit.
Precisely. And importantly, it's not just consumption. There's a strong production story, too.
Okay.
The purchasing managers index the PMI for manufacturing. It recently hit a 16-month high.
16 months. Wow. So manufacturing is picking up steam.
Yeah. And the Economic Times linked this directly to that robust domestic demand we mentioned, and also just a significant jump in factory output.
The importance of this internal demand, it really can't be overstated.
How so?
Well, it creates this kind of virtuous cycle.
Okay.
Local demand goes up, which fuels local businesses. They hire more people, maybe raise wages,
Right.
which then boosts consumer confidence and spending even more. It feeds itself.
A self-sustaining loop.
Exactly. And that focus on domestic strength makes India a really unique case study, especially, compared to economies that are more exposed to global ups and downs.
So it builds resilience from the ground up.
That's a great way to put it. A truly self-sustaining dynamic. #TAG3. Global recognition and digital leapfrogging.
Okay, so strong internal drivers, this manufacturing pickup.
Yeah.
It makes sense that the rest of the world is noticing.
Absolutely. You see that reflected in the reports.
What are they saying about this global recognition?
Well, it's pretty clear the big global players are paying close attention.
Like investors?
Yeah, exactly. There was a significant report, again, in the Economic Times, I believe. It noted over a dozen top CEOs, think Apple, PepsiCo, big names like that.
Okay.
They've explicitly marked India as a top priority market for growth.
Top priority, that says a lot.
It certainly does. But it's not just about traditional industry, right? The digital space in India is Well, it's just flying.
Absolutely flying is the word.
Huh?
Take the UPI system, the Unified Payments Interface.
Incredible system.
The numbers are just staggering. It's facilitating something like 640 million transactions every single day.
640 million a day. It's almost hard to comprehend that scale.
It really is. And the Financial Times even observed that India's real-time payment ecosystem is like miles ahead of many global peers.
Including more developed economies.
Yeah.
They really leapfrogged in that area.
They really did. And this digital transformation, it's not just tech for tech's sake. It's having a massive impact on people's actual lives.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Financial inclusion. Look at the jump there. In 2011, only about 35% of adults had access to a bank account.
Right, pretty low.
Now, it's up to an incredible 89%.
Wow, 35 to 89%. That's huge.
Huge. And that has knock-on effects, right? Positive impacts on rural growth, getting more people involved in investments, and just contributing to overall economic stability.
You know, this combination, the global investment interest and this homegrown digital innovation, it's really quite remarkable.
It's a powerful mix.
Especially that leap in financial inclusion. It's like democratizing access to the economy for millions.
Unlocking potential.
Exactly. Unlocking tremendous potential that was just sitting there, untapped. These examples really highlight India's unique blend. You know, massive scale combined with really groundbreaking innovation. They're forging their own path.
And that unique path seems very focused on the long term, too. Looking ahead, the sources really show a clear commitment to sustainable growth, laying down serious foundations.
Yeah, not just focus on the here and now.
Right. For instance, initiatives like PM Gati Shakti.
Which is that big infrastructure integration plan.
Exactly. A huge national master plan to coordinate everything. That, plus the National Infrastructure Pipeline. They're strategically building long-term capacity for the whole economy.
Roads, ports, logistics, power. All of it.
All of it. And speaking of power, on the energy front, India is already the third largest producer of renewable energy globally.
Third largest already. That's impressive.
And their goal is incredibly ambitious. 500 gigawatts of renewable capacity by 2030.
500 gigawatts.
Yeah.
That's a massive target.
It is. And it's not just the traditional big infrastructure projects either. There are whole new industries really starting to blossom.
Like what? What are the sources pointing to?
Well, biotech is one area growing rapidly.
Okay, leveraging their pharma base.
Exactly. Leveraging their pharma strength, their scientific talent. It's projected to jump from around $80 billion now to $150 billion by 2025.
Wow, nearly doubling.
And maybe even hitting $300 billion by 2030.
Huge potential there.
Then there's the space economy. Sounds futuristic, but India's aiming to grow its space sector 5 times by 2030. That came up in India business discussions on Reddit, actually.
Interesting. Space tech is becoming a real commercial frontier.
For sure. And data centers were also mentioned as another key sunrise sector.
So high growth, future-focused industries.
Precisely.
If you sort of step back and look at all this, these huge investments in infrastructure in these future-facing sectors, it really points to a strategic long-term vision.
Definitely planning ahead.
They're not just reacting to the growth they have now. They seem to be actively cultivating the environment for sustainable expansion for, decades to come.
Setting the stage.
Exactly. And for you, the listener, these are really critical signs. They indicate an economy that has enduring momentum and a pretty clear roadmap for significant future potential.
It's about building for the next wave of growth.
Precisely. Building for the next generation. Hashtag tag outro ender.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the message from all these different sources seems pretty consistent, doesn't it?
It really does.
India's economic engine isn't just, ticking over, it's roaring.
Yeah, roaring feels about right.
And it's driven by this powerful combination of things. Strong domestic growth, that cutting-edge innovation we talked about, widening inclusion, and this growing global confidence.
It's a potent mix. And this whole journey, it really raises an interesting question, I think. As India continues climbing, building on this unique foundation, the domestic strength, the digital transformation, what kind of new models might emerge?
New models of development.
Yeah, new models for development, maybe new forms of global collaboration stemming from its specific path. It's something worth watching.
That is a really thought-provoking question to end on, something for you to mull over. We hope this deep dive gave you a clear, sort of concise picture of what's fueling India's really remarkable economic story right now.
So it was useful?
And maybe it encourages you to continue your own exploration. Perhaps look deeper into concepts like domestic-led growth or the impact of digital public infrastructure, maybe in other parts of the world too.